Can we get a round of applause for everybody for making it to Friday? Way to go. You could have quit your job this week. You didn't. Presumably. Maybe you did. If so, let us know in the comment section. We'll celebrate with you.
That was a tough one, right? It's like, after all the holiday break.
Real week.
And then everybody's sick. Yeah. Everybody is sick.
Literally everybody.
Yes, and that's even awful, too.
They're dropping like flies in the newsroom, probably because people like us keep coming to work sick.
Touching everything and everyone.
Vanessa's saying she's going to wait 3 weeks to see if her throat issue gets better.
I know.
She's like yelling.
That seems like bad medical advice.
This is how the Black Plague took out an entire civilization.
Well,
I'll give it 3 weeks.
Go to the doctor.
I know you guys yelled at me yesterday, like, go to the doctor. You're going to get pneumonia.
Like,
somebody just died from pneumonia. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, you know there's a national holiday for like everything.
Yes.
Yes.
Today there's like 15 of them.
15?
Let's read them off. Today is supposedly National Bittersweet Chocolate Day.
Okay.
National Oysters Rockefeller Day.
Love that day.
Going to Buck Rider.
Save the Eagles Day, not the rock band, the bird. And National Cut Your Energy Costs Day.
Oh, okay, that's great.
I'm in for
So
that.
here on Today in
I like
AZ,
these days.
we celebrate these holidays from time to time, but they are fairly arbitrary. And there's really no process to declaring a national holiday. You just declare it. So for the first time in the history of this program, we are declaring our own national holiday.
Oh, are
When
we?
is it, Paul?
And we hope you'll celebrate with us. January 10th, henceforth, shall be known as Return Sweatshirts to Their Rightful Owners Day.
You made this up.
Listen, this is an old picture of me, but there's a reason. It's the only picture I ever have taken in this particular sweatshirt. So this stemmed from a conversation I had yesterday where I was reminiscing about some long-lost hoodies. It's cold here in the morning, right? We all know that our significant others love to just, especially you ladies, I'm just saying, you love to take the hooded sweatshirts and borrow them and then never give them back. So this is my blue WBKB sweatshirt. I used to work in the third smallest TV market in the country. We barely know broadcasting, WBKB in Alpena, Michigan. That sweatshirt was the first piece of station swag I was ever given. It's very weird. It's like a sky blue hoodie. It's not comfortable, or it's not, doesn't really keep you warm, but it was mine, and it has sentimental value. And it ran off, and not only did it run off, but I later found out that it ended up being donated to Goodwill. So instead of giving it back, it was donated.
That was a bad breakup, Paul.
Wait, was that the picture you sent to the girl?
Yeah, no. That is just the only picture I have of the hoodie. And that's not the only hoodie of mine that has run off. It seems like the really nice ones always leave. So before we discuss, today is the day to give those hooded sweatshirts back. No questions asked. If you've got one lying around and you think, oh, so-and-so might want that back, give it back. And share the story with us if you'd like. Vanessa?
I don't have anybody.
You don't have any?
You don't have a single article of clothing that you've stolen from a man in your life? I find that so hard to believe.
I do have one shirt that I still have. It's an army shirt. Like, so it was the guy I was dating in high school. His buddy went to the army. He gave him an army shirt, and it's soft and like really comfy.
I know the reasons you steal them.
And so I do have that one still. And the only reason I've kept it is because it is a soft t-shirt. And remind you, this is like from high school, so this is a long time ago.
I know, it's super soft
Other than that, like, I don't have anybody's sweatshirts. Like, I haven't taken anybody's recently. Like, I have my own jackets. I provide for myself. I don't need to take anybody's sweatshirts.
I don't think people steal the sweatshirts because they can't provide
No, but it's
for
like usually
themselves.
steal it because you're cold at their house, and so they give you
Or because it's bigger than your normal size and it's comfy and
or
it's
you
cozy.
slept over and you didn't bring PJs or whatever.
Classic
But I
move.
plan ahead if I were to have a
shade.
sleepover.
Never been there.
Ryan, tell us your horror stories.
No, I do recall a time where someone was, and we were dating.
Congrats.
Was leaving with a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to say this. I told them to give it back before they left, because I know these things tend to
They have
walk
legs,
off.
yeah.
And I'm sorry, like she was not happy about it. Like she
bet she
wanted to
wasn't.
take
Right.
it, and I don't care. I'm never gonna get this back. And I loved that sweatshirt. And you know what? I got to keep it, and I got to decide what happened with that
Do you still
sweatshirt.
Did she break up with you? Immediately thereafter.
Not immediately.
It's a metaphor for where the relationship is going.
No, she needed a ride home, so there was.
You didn't give her that either?
No, I gave her that.
But
I knew
not for the sweatshirt.
I knew there was
yeah.
heat in the
gave her that
car,
after
so
he
the
gave her that.
sweatshirt was
They
not
gave her right
necessary. I just think these things, there has to be there's a reason, in my opinion, there's a reason why they run off.
Okay.
And they run off because they want an there's an attachment.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that you have a reason to come see them again.
Maybe
And-
that's my
what people
issue.
leave
Because
it
I don't
You
want
have-
a reason.
you have no attachment.
I think
I'm
it's
like,
like
take
people
it, I don't need
leave
it.
things over. People
Yes,
leave things at your
I'm familiar with
house.
that move,
Yeah.
and I have done the same thing that you did, except the opposite. Where, like, let's say it's a DVD, and this has happened more than once, where they'll leave a DVD, and it's like, no, take this with you, and they give you a look like you're breaking the code here, and it's like, no, I don't want you to have an excuse to come back here. Don't leave your crap at my place, because then you end up with it, and you're put in a position where I imagine that girl was with my blue sweatshirt, where you're like, well, what do I do with it now?
It's like that episode. Next thing they want a drawer.
Oh, once you give them a drawer, that's a whole
Give them
other
a
thing.
drawer,
I want a
a
place
little
to leave the
section under the
toothbrush.
bathroom couch. Yeah, it's little things.
What about you, Rachel? You have any old hooded sweatshirts?
No, I think I racked my brain this morning. You guys asked me. I could not think of any at all.
You have a specific reason, though.
She's married.
Well,
That's
I've been married
for a
since 1876.
Yeah.
No, I think because I've always dated giant people. So I've literally, it would be ridiculous. It would be like me walking around in a T-shirt dress down to my knees. Like, I've always dated guys who are 6'2" or taller. And I'm petite.
But that's how it goes down in most situations where a woman
guy- I
don't
takes
like
a man's
giants.
Me
clothing.
big, you small.
It's not.
Right.
That's my issue with it is there's no practical reason really for you to have it beyond like getting home that day. You know, and just the warmth
like if you
of
were-
it.
you
There's
didn't
no
have
practical reason because other than maybe like pajamas or something like that, you can't wear it out in the open. Because it would be so
It would be
obvious
absurd.
and known
I guess
that
we
was
like to
a man's
lounge around
sweatshirt.
in it at home or whatnot, but nope. Can't think I've ever.
The reason is
It's
attachment.
been
The
a
reason
while for me.
it's
I don't
attachment, and it's that they want a reason to have to see you again in case something goes south between now and the next.
Well, they're not going to give you the
encounter.
sweatshirt back in that meeting anyway. They're holding it hostage, I feel.
Right,
like.
that's what I mean.
And whoever is holding my WBKB sweatshirt hostage somewhere in the world, it's probably not in
You
Arizona.
should be thankful it's gone.
No, I want it
From
back.
that photo?
I would pay a $50 ransom to have that
From that
sweatshirt
photo,
back. This is me
Paul.
like 12 years ago. That's not
I'm
even what I
not
look
even
like
looking at
anymore.
you.
That is
I'm
so
looking
funny
at the
because
sweater.
I feel like that's like a picture you sent to a girl. You're like, hey, I'm
No,
wearing
this was, hey,
like,
check out my swag. Look how cool I am.
Where did you post that at?
On my old Facebook, I think.
It's on his MySpace.
Yeah, I don't know.
MySpace.
Anyway, listen, whoever has that sweatshirt,
Everywhere they say.
I will give you a $50 ransom if you can find that sweatshirt. And the good thing about the show is that you can see it anywhere in the world. So this is online forever, and the offer stands. If you come across that WBKB sweatshirt, I want it back. Real fast, this is not a gender-specific thing.
No.
Sometimes men steal articles of clothing from women. So I have a confession.
We
to
call
make.
them perverts.
Yeah, normally it's undergarments.
Wait till you hear the rest of this story before you go there.
I was dating a girl, and on a cold winter's day, I did not have a sweatshirt and was freezing. And so she gave me a sweatshirt from her high school days that was oversized. And the cool part about it is it says Flint Central High School on it. And Flint Central High School closed, I don't know, like a decade and a half ago. It's so worn down and ratty. I mean, it's torn and everything. I don't think she ever anticipated getting this back because it was kind of beat to hell when I got it.
It
and
was
it's
probably
still
another
beat to hell
guy's.
now.
Yeah.
No, it was hers. It has her name on the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll keep that to myself.
don't
But
turn
no,
that
this is
That was your
legitimately
thick girl
a
phase.
sweatshirt that I still have. Wow.
I mean, it's a large sweatshirt.
I'm trying to be right by the world.
Even though
here.
it's oversized.
Are we fat shaming now? Is
We're
that what
not
we're going to do?
fat shaming.
Except for not showing her name, then
Wow.
If you like a woman that's bigger than you, I am totally down with that.
she didn't need the extra.
She was not, and if she was, there's nothing wrong with
Right,
that.
there's nothing
And-
wrong
Well, you
with
know,
that. It's
in
funny that you said
Michigan,
that.
like we always say, you know,
gotta
in the
stay
north, you
warm.
gotta have that extra, like, winter weight.
Totally.
Okay,
or
wait.
you
My
will freeze.
question, Paul. Why do you still have this sweatshirt?
Good
And
question.
you've moved different markets. You've moved different apartments.
Right.
Kept it.
Why do you still have it?
One, because it does say Flint Central High School, and it reminds me a lot of my hometown. Two, because it is a ratty sweatshirt that
So you
in
still
some
wear it?
not recently, no, but in some theoretical context, if I'm doing like yard work in a cold climate, I could theoretically throw this thing on and not worry if I get it covered in motor oil or lawn clippings or something. There's utility for all the clothes I've held onto for years and years that I never wear. You're gonna tell me you have something in your closet you've worn or haven't worn in 2 or 3 years, but you still have. You have that, right?
Right, but that's
like 20 years.
like a long time ago.
2 or 3 years
Yeah.
is different than 20.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I saved the keepsake from a previous version of myself. I'm a weirdo, huh?
Well, I think what they're asking is,
There must
is
be
there
some
some sort of
attachment.
additional
Because
attachment?
Not
that's
at all.
what our whole
Haven't
point
spoken
is,
to her in years.
That
No.
there's attachment, they do it for a reason.
It has nothing to do with
like-
her, and if she ever asked me for the sweatshirt back, I would give it to her. But I assume at this point,
Ms.
there's-
Franson.
I feel like there is
Please
like
contact us. What if she's like this big now?
she wasn't big before.
Rachel,
I want to see this makeover
Ousted.
story.
You're making
Miss
Paul very
Franson
upset
is
on a
like, she's
Friday.
gonna come
I just
in
don't
and be like,
understand why you would just attack somebody you don't know online. Like, that's just so rude.
Oh, we're just trying
Nobody
to give
does
you a
that.
hard time.
All right, let's get to the viewer comments.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, Miss Franson.
Jeez.
Show your
know.
face. Send
Ryan
us a photo.
says, my fiance and I have community hoodies that we share. Susie says she still has her husband's hoodie that is 16 years old.
Yeah.
Ryan says, I am wearing my fiance's shirt right now.
Why is everyone
There you
named
go.
Ryan?
I don't know.
If you're engaged, I think that changes things.
In the current
like
relationship,
if you get into like a much more like committed
Right.
long-term relationship,
We're
then
talking
like
exes,
right.
right?
Right, like if you
Hanging on to exes.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not okay with it if it's like a couple dates in and like you're still like not sure if this is going to be a thing or even more than a couple dates in. But if you put a ring on it, like okay, you can
Because what
start
if it's
sharing
weird? Like,
clothes.
let's say this. Like, what if your wife, like, rolled up and she's wearing, like, UT Longhorn basketball shorts that were clearly from her days when she was
Yeah.
into UT basketball
if
players?
she shows up,
Would that be weird?
Yeah.
if she shows
Right?
up wearing men's clothes that I did
You're
not
not-
give
you're
to
not
her,
the man.
we're gonna have a discussion.
Okay.
Right.
So
that's like if
what
a bra
I
showed
think
up
that's
in your
fair.
sock
Oh,
drawer.
yeah.
That would be weird, would it not?
Or 20s.
Well, I mean, I've had a lot of cookies
Yeah, right.
lately.
There's some sentimentality to this too. And Susie, she says, I still have my husband's hoodie. It's 16 years old. He died in March. I can't give it back, but it means something to her.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Story.
Jennifer weighs in to say, I've never returned any of the guys' sweatshirts I borrowed.
She's got a collection.
Phyllis says the same thing. I'm wearing his hoodie now, and he's not getting it back.
Nope.
Phyllis
Good
is
for you.
ruthless.
I must be different because I don't have
I know, I
anybody's
didn't say
sweatshirt
it
except
either.
that one T-shirt that I've had forever.
No,
But
I got
other than
nothing.
that,
I'm with you.
I've had guys leave rant like some guy left. He brought over that I was dating for a while koozies, like a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
So like when we go drinking and stuff, and like brought
That's
a
a
whole
great
bunch. He's like,
gift.
I'm gonna leave them in your thing, and I'm like, okay. And then he just like left them in my little bar department, and I'm like, cool. Now what am I supposed to do with them?
Well,
use
yeah, but
the
here's the thing: is when
koozies.
you see it now, you probably think about them.
Think of him.
Subconsciously, at least you
That
have to
was
be
the
like, oh
idea.
yeah, like that's where I got it from. All the koozies I have, I remember like where I got them, like they were gifts from someone. Like I do remember that, so that's got to be a thing.
That's crazy. Is
And the
there that?
sweatshirt, you can't tell me that you don't think about her. Just like if you were to put it on, you'd be like, oh yeah. Like not in a,
Yeah,
good-
but not in any
good or
sentimental
bad way.
Just it's a previous version of yourself. It's another hall you walked over the course of your life. And yeah, there are good memories and there are bad memories,
Right.
but it is at this point, I think, so distilled that it's just a sweatshirt.
Yes. But even if that's why I wouldn't be okay per se with my wife wearing something
Right.
else, because every time she put it on, she would be thinking.
But I'll tell you what,
about-
if I were married right now,
What would you do
I
with
wouldn't
that?
expect my wife to want me to keep this or anything else that was like a sentimental keepsake that was given to you by a significant other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you had a charm
That's
on
a good question.
bracelet or something that
so
you wore.
do you get rid of your items from previous relationships when you get married?
Or do you lock them up somewhere?
Yeah,
at
or
least,
do you keep
know?
them in a
Yeah.
keepsake box?
Jennifer actually has a traveling pants situation here. She says one of my friends have actually stolen a sweater from me that I stole.
Yeah.
And that's why these things are so hard to track down is because they
Now
just...
that I'd like. I'd like to get
passed
all the
around.
clothes that my sorority sisters would take from my dorm back in those days.
These viewer comments are so great. Valerie says, I kept a hoodie from my junior year from a boyfriend. He ended up married a couple of years after and came back for the sweater.
What? He came back for
Not
it?
shocked. I would too.
Oh my God.
Ryan's very territorial about his stuff.
Oh, this is great. William
This
admits
stuff
to
is
being a
this
thief.
stuff is important. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
And especially hoodies, like good hoodies.
They're good
are
hoodies.
not
Oh
cheap.
man,
Yeah.
tell me about it.
I agree.
And
Plus,
once you
it's like
find
it's cool, yeah, when you get one from like your school or you get one from a place that
Yeah.
you went, it's got like a
that
something
one,
attached
the
to
one
it.
you can't replace, the one you can't replace from your old TV station, that stuff you need back.
Wait,
agree.
listen to William. He said, good morning from
Yeah,
Sun
this is
City.
good.
When I lived in Sacramento, one of my neighbors had left their laundry overnight, and I saw a really neat sweatshirt, so I took it. I wasn't able to wear it until I returned to Phoenix. Now we're stealing people's Taking laundry?
That was just taking laundry. Lucinda says, I steal my partner's
gosh.
hoodies all the time. I get us the same hoodies, but when his is worn out, we argue about who's whose.
Oh my
That's smart.
gosh.
It's like when you open 2 beers or something with somebody and you can't remember who's is whose. You take the more full one.
Yeah.
And we wonder why 99% of relationships don't last.
99%?
Well, I mean, if 50% of marriages don't last, and I'm guessing that 99% of overall relationships don't last. Just a guess. That's not scientific.
Maybe I need to change things up. Maybe the next guy
You need to-
I
you
need
need
to
to steal
steal his
something from him.
You need to
sweatshirt.
switch your
That's the
mojo up.
problem.
I will admit
Like-
something, though, as a guy. This is like teens and 20s Paul. 30s Paul doesn't think it's cool to steal things from other people. But back then, like, it did mean something. It was almost like a benchmark in the relationship.
Right.
Where if she was comfortable enough to take an item of your clothing and wear it, that meant that there was like a connection between the two of you. I mean, do you remember in high school, did kids at your school wear like the jerseys of the players
yeah.
they were
Letter
dating or
jackets
something like
and
that?
stuff, yeah.
Like that was like...
Yeah.
It's not a sign of like ownership. It was at least a sign of connection.
Yeah,
it was a
that you
sign
were
that
dating.
like this was a thing, you know. And so
Yeah.
like if a girl takes your clothes, it's like, oh, well, she's kind of into me.
Yeah, she
but
likes
but
it.
then at
Next
some
level.
point you're like, no, don't take my stuff. Like,
Right.
if you want stuff, I'll give you stuff.
You need that jersey back for the away game. Coach is going to be on your ass if you don't get that jersey back.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's take a quick break from
Oh
this,
my
guys. Get
gosh.
to where I see why am I in case you missed it on Today in AZ this morning.
Good morning. Welcome back to Today in AZ. The time is 6:46, and here's your juicy question and answer of the morning. So 19% of all kids admit that they do this before school. What is this? Let's check in with your tweets and text messages.
Oh,
Sunny from Gilbert
Yeah.
says, watch cartoons.
So
Okay.
optimistic.
Chuck says, brush teeth. Well, I hope it's more than that.
I bet
How about
it is
do their
only 1 in
homework
5.
last minute?
All right, here's the answers.
Dude, seriously? You gotta clean up your room. It's a complete mess.
Make their
Only
bed.
19%.
We need to up that percentage there.
Yes, we do.
What
Because
percent of-
successful people make their
What
bed
percentage of
in the morning.
adults make their bed before they go to work? I'd like to see that.
Much more than
statistic.
19%.
My dogs are still using it.
That's true. It would be rude to make it in that
My
case.
little chihuahua's all curled up, so cute.
Especially on a morning like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, who made their bed this morning?
I did. You know why? Because it's so easy. Because obviously I'm a single female. So I just use one side of the bed. So as soon as I get up, all I have to do is go whoop and pull the cover and it's done.
easy.
Because this side's not messed up at all.
Ryan, did you make your bed?
No, there's still a human in the dog. No.
Same. That would be rude.
Yeah.
You're all making it on him.
Well, excuse me, Wayne. Like fluffing the pillows on his face. Put like 8 million throw pillows. Don't mind me.
I
would not
speak
wake up,
for
though.
those of us watching that sleep like tornadoes. I should make my bed every morning, but it is actually too time consuming.
It probably takes
because
too much time.
There's pillows on the floor, the sheets are backwards and turned over.
Oh
and
my God.
It's like
You gotta
if
get
you
to it
walked
later.
in, you'd be like, "What happened in here?" And it's like I just slept.
So do
for a
you
little
make
while.
it then?
Someone
like
came
when
in
you
and
go
stole your
home
hoodie and
before
then-
you sleep
Yeah,
again,
yeah. I
like some
usually
point
I
in the
like
day?
to I like to crawl into a made bed. If I don't,
Yes.
it's just chaos like anything else in your life, right? Like a dirty house is a dirty mind. Like
Yes.
you're cluttered and uncollected. I do generally straighten it out at least to
Okay.
some degree before I go to bed. But in the morning when we get up at 2, it's
That's
like
too
every
early.
minute counts. I'm not going to mess around
yeah.
with trying to find where all the stuff ended up in the middle of the night. Hey, real quick, an update. My possessed vacuum cleaner did not wake me up last night. If you were watching the show earlier in the week, for about 2 weeks straight, my robotic off-brand D-Bot
Faux
vacuum.
Roomba.
Yeah, my faux Roomba, my thrifty Roomba, was waking me up at 10:38 p.m. every single day. So our Steadicam guy, Dave, recommended that I unplug the dock and that would reset the machine. Unfortunately, that did not work. But I found some combination of unplugging the dock, letting the batteries die, taking the batteries out of the remote, setting the time on the remote,
lot of work.
downloading the D-Bot app, and making sure the schedule was cleared.
I think it was the app.
And throwing it out the window.
Right. Somehow that worked. Yeah, lighting a fire, saying a prayer to Satan,
what? I think
sacrificing a lamb.
You know how we always say these smart technology? I think it's the faux Roomba company's way of forcing you to register with them. Because
Could be.
now you're
Yeah.
on there.
It is registered. It's on
Next
the
thing you
grid.
know, you're going to be getting the ads for the faux mop and the
Right.
faux other things because they want you in their hub.
There's
You're in
also
it.
a possibility that all it was changing the time on it and that it's currently running rampant in my apartment right now. And that I just changed the time and so now it's just going nuts. And it's probably stuck under the dishwasher if that's the case.
Back at it. Back to
Loves
the old
get
girl.
stuck under there.
All right, guys, let's sip on some fresh squeezed juice. So Oprah Winfrey says she has nothing to do with Megxit. The television legend is denying a New York Post report that she played a role in advising Prince Harry and Meghan on their decision to step back from being senior British royals. Winfrey issued a statement to the Today Show saying, Meghan and Harry do not need my help in figuring out what's best for them. I care about them both and support whatever decisions they make for their family. But hey, who wouldn't want advice from Oprah, especially on a big decision like this? I can tell you, if I could meet one celebrity right now, it would be Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah, I mean, if Oprah is your friend, and she's, of course I'm going to go for her for free advice, but to come up with this whole weird story that they somehow were brainwashed by Oprah is bizarre.
No, I mean, I'm sure they came up with this on their own. Obviously, they've done a lot of different things since they've been married, so it's not Oprah Winfrey's fault.
I know. it's a sad week for me.
She's already back in Canada, I heard.
Yeah.
They left the baby.
Well, she's like, I'm
they
going to
left
let
the baby
you,
in Canada when they went back to make this announcement.
She's like, I'm going to let you deal with the in-laws.
Want the baby to be held as ransom.
Right? That's a good point. You know the queen. She'll just snatch that baby right up. And be
You're like,
no.
you ain't
Well,
even
she can stop the baby from leaving the country, apparently.
Oh,
I
really?
I was reading that the queen does have some sort
that
of like
explains that.
ownership
Yeah, that's why,
over
then.
the children within the monarchy.
Oh, geez. That's terrifying.
It's very deep reaching.
There's a lot going on. And then what did we talk about? The wax figures? They moved them around
moved
already?
the wax
Yeah.
figures.
I think that was, as you put it earlier, though, just pub for
Cute,
Madame Tussauds.
brilliant
though.
publicity. Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you know that the day after the announcement, we didn't mention this, was Kate Middleton's 38th birthday?
Yes. You said,
Meghan
you said it
Markle
was
is
savage.
savage.
Because they announced it so that way you wouldn't even acknowledge her birthday.
Not even a blip on the radar.
Ryan, you want to join the royal family? I hear they have 2 openings. I'm in on this.
I am so
Oh, now
life
that I
legend.
know that the queen can take my baby, I'm not.
Or your hoodies.
Queen's gonna take your baby.
The queen can have my hoodie, not my baby.
Queen, if you're watching, you can have this. It says Flint Central on it.
I can't believe you
A
still have
sacrifice
that.
to the queen.
And then he found it
Take
so
my
easily.
jacket.
I think there's more to the story.
Give your
sleeping
hoodies
with
back,
it.
everybody. Happy National Give Your Hoodies back to their respective owners' day.
Buy your own.